though somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all, we headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. It looks as though the police are still here, carrying on with their investigation. Perfect, so let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible. Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. There he is. Let me look at the postcard real quick. A shilling. 221B Baker Street. And the message, Iris Wilson, with a heart. Iris's little handwriting is adorable, isn't it? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem. Yes, the handwriting might be adorable, but the message is ominous. There's no room for sentiment there. I'm sure it's simply the way you are interpreting it, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I do hope the inspector will tell us what we need to know when he reads it. You don't think it will just make him munch piping hot chips until steam comes out of his ears, do you? Well, that wouldn't be an entirely terrible outcome. This sounds more like a threat. But maybe it's just a British culture. What do I know as a Japanese man? This is a 5-shilling piece, isn't it? I believe it's called a crown. Yes, and you can train a Scotland Yard detective to do whatever you want with just a single one. What? Iris must be the most powerful 10-year-old in the world. Oh, I'm referring to Iris. Okay. How much is 5 shillings, by the way? What's it really worth? Well, it's probably enough to buy all the chips the inspector could possibly eat in a whole month. Really? What? That's greasy. What? Really? That's crazy. Must be the inflation then. I mean, I would think 5 shillings is like nothing, but apparently back in the day it's worth much more than it is today. I don't know. Okay, we need to present it. I see. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts, that's for sure. We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson. What? For me? From her ladyship? Her ladyship? Whoa. Give that here at once. Come on, hand it over. That's for me. Don't wait for me to give it to you, will ya? What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's an appearance fee, that's what it is. An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean... I don't see it. What? Oh, wait, what? Oh, that's right, for the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Oh my god, she is bribing him. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me every time. Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly. Of course, her using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still. I am sorry, Inspector. That must be difficult for you. Never you mind that. So, what do you want to know then, eh? Sorry? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that would be a problem, it says. Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? Whoa! Are you sure about that? Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector. We'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Oh, the little knife-wielding, mustached Japanese fellow. He lives in the right old hovel. It's just over there, look. Oh, that one. Like the one house that looks like it's gonna collapse at any moment. Alright. On the first floor of that house on the corner with that wreck of a bicycle propped up. That is nearby indeed. If I remember rightly, the landlord is a Mr. Joan Garrideb. Right, well, if you see her again, you make sure you give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it, you tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector, we will. Goodbye for now, then. And long live her ladyship. What is his obsession with Iris? It's creepy. Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left. Yes, so then shall we go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings? Definitely. Okay. Whoa! He's a proper British nerd, huh? Oh, ooh. May I help you? What's with that voice? May I help you? Ah, yes, would this be the residence of Mr. John Garrideb? Indeed it would, sir, and who may I say is calling? My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here. We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garrideb. Did you see that, Mrs. Sato? That was a real-life English maid. What? I know. As I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better. It suddenly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it? We need only to meet a butler, and the experience will be complete. Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garrideb will see you now this way. Oh, he looks evil, doesn't he? Oh my god. Wait, does Mr. Garrideb live here or Mr. Natsume? I didn't get it. Is that Mr. Natsume's stuff or Mr. Garrideb's stuff? That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it? It's clearly been well looked after, though. That old thing, well, not much better than rags, really. Oh? Wore that ceremonial garb with my retirement badge, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past. Me would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, it doesn't hurt to have the odd piece of memorabilia lying around, does it? What are you doing with your pipe? That's not... What the heck? That's not sanitary, is it? Oh, I see. Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. I notice you have a pile of books here, Mr. Garrideb. Do you enjoy reading? Ever experienced a London winter, boy? The nights are long. No better way to pass the time than in front of the fire with a jolly good book. Oh, there's a copy of Rand's magazine here too, I see. No doubt Mr. Garrideb enjoys the adventure of Sherlock Holmes too. The great detective has a great many followers, it would seem. That's a full-size cannon. What's it doing in here? Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica. How did it even get in here? That old thing? Bah, that's a little more than a toy. Sorry? The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never know when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon about the house. Really, it isn't overkill? Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted world is going to throw at you next. Boy. Do you think there may be trouble brewing, Mr. Garrideb? Always is. Take Joanne here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Dries them over the barrel, you see. They dry very well on the cannon there, Joanne tells me, which rather proves my point, I feel. It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame. Oh, I can look around. Oh, fancy, fancy. Oops, so sorry about that. Oh, look. What a wonderful collection of cakes. Lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand. Lined up? It looks more like someone has half demolished them to me. Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It's quite the English way. It is Mr. Garrideb's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea. That sounds delightful. Oh, wait a minute though. There are at least 10 cakes on the cake stand. Well, naturally, I would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Garrideb doesn't eat, I say to myself, John, you shall have to tidy up. How magnanimous of you. Well, that explains her stature. This old candle holder looks a little out of place here, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're right, it's clearly supposed to be gold, but it's almost completely black for some reason. That old thing, yes, just a cheap piece of ironmongery. Gimcrack, really. Oh, used it when I was studying, don't you know, for my commission. I know it's old, hardly worth hanging on to really, but, well, still has its uses sometimes. Of course. Does everything in this room have some elaborate story behind it? They're memories, Mr. Naruhodo. Memories. And what is the story about this, whatever that is? Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? Oh my, a genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Although the shelves seem to be broken and the crockery is... oh dear, it's in pieces. It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that chinaware justice. I wonder... perhaps the cannon was fired at it. Yes, probably something like that, but let's not delve too deeply here. This window looks out over a briar road where the young woman was attacked. Oh yes, I can make out the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene. The glass is rather murky, isn't it? You can't see very clearly. Does this thing open at all, I wonder? I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness of a London winter, sir. Sorry? As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoner would go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you. It seems very unlikely that those two would have seen anything of the incident then. Nice medal. That looks like a Medal of Honor, and it's showcased on a very grand banner. Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say, although it bothers me that it's not straight. What? That old thing? Sorry? I shall be glad to see the back of it, but the general would turn in his grave if I dispose of it. The wall's the best place for it, keeps a bawdy thing out of my way. So it's just been polished to shine by accident, I suppose. There appears to be an inscription on the medal itself. Look. Let me see. It says, "For distinguished participation." Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, but I was given that for my time in the army. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. And that must be your ancestor. Maybe. That portrait of Mr. Garrideb is staring at me, I swear. Oh, it's he himself. Have you noticed that all the little frames contain photographic prints of Mr. Garrideb as well? Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion in the mantelpiece as well. Ah, yeah, seemed to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket. Seemed to come back? What do you mean? The chap who runs the place is a bally wizard. Went in to sell him something and came out with that thing. In point of fact, now I think about it, I rather often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need. What? You're just stealing things? The lying ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements. Citizen doesn't pull her punches, or her throws, for that matter. And these are very big bullets. Oh god, I'm so sorry. Very big bullets. Those mortar shells? They're enormous. I hadn't noticed. What are they doing here? Those old things? Couple of little rods I accidentally fired into the barracks during training, you know. They have a bit of colorful regiment folklore, that incident. You mean you deliberately handed out the spent shells? Well, I wouldn't say deliberately, exactly. They're only scrap iron after all, and usually just thrown away, I believe. But you never know when things might come in useful, do you? Useful for what exactly? Yes, well... Joanne here did manage to knock one of the bally things on my foot the other day while she was dusting. Oh no! And shed a tear since 1869 before then, you know. Maybe we consider throwing them away? Yeah. Marie Kondo this thing. Marie Kondo this thing. What did I want to say? I forgot. Okay, let's look. What is behind this thing? Look at that enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, surely. Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from view. What could be behind it, I wonder? I'm going to have a very quick look, just a little peek. Maybe let's not, Mr. Sato. I think the maid is going to head us off with a cup of tea. I think we've looked at everything now. Good day to you, John Garrideb at your service. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer. Do excuse me not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Maywand, don't you know? Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service, handed over the reins to the up-and-comings. So he's a retired soldier. It's a hell of a job getting up and downstairs now, I can tell ya. Don't get out much, as you can imagine. Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs. You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo. You don't have a bullet wound in your knee. Do you think so? Well, Mr. Garrideb, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just a folder roll, really. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joanne? Let these good people see it properly. Joanne, fetch that. Whoa! Catch it all, woman, be careful! Is she crazy? Oh, dearie me, I do beg your pardon, sir. You jolly nearly took the skin off my hands. I shall be more careful, sir. No, anyway, there you have it, living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging out downstairs, is that right? Yes, we would be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us. Only too pleased, naturally, especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blighty. We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you are aware, so this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, the same? It's the same on this side. Oh, is it? He even had some famous detective poking around, you know, in this old house, would you believe? Is he still here? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all that detective business. I thought you had the copy of Rand's magazine in that stack of books you have there? Oh, but you have a copy of Rand's magazine here, so... no, he's sweating. Okay, he's a secret fan, I see. And anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. So he's in Soseki-san's room. It's a bally nuisance, is what it is. The whole neighborhood's switching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss, it's jolly unsettling. Okay. About Mr. Natsume then, Mr. Garrideb, please do tell us. Yes, the Japanese chap, only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week? So he moved in very recently then? I have 2 lodgers most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available a week ago, you see. That's it all, Joanne, do be careful. Oh my goodness, I'm terribly sorry, sir. If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him. Oh, why? He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you asked me. What? No one asked you, Joanne. I said to myself, Joanne, that man is trouble. Sooner or later he's going to do something untoward. It's called racism. Maybe you've heard of it? And I'm really wrong about anything. And full of herself, too. We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? Yes, oh yes, indeed there was. And she's starting to tell us. Had you noticed anything else? Oh my word, yes, the man was shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room, absolutely stuffed full of books it is, more than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passes the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day, and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed too. Oh, I see. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night, but I've never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. That's a little bit creepy that you keep such a close tab on your, well, tenants. Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? Oh! I'd understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct? That's right, they're both below us, on the first floor in the street level. Why is he sweating? Is he on this? Do they have surveillance cameras? Then how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example, even the times they go to bed. Not again. Ah! Good grief, Joanne. Be more careful, woman. Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Something doesn't add up here. I don't think they have surveillance cameras, though. It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out of the window at around that time? The window? Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby? 5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garrideb household, though I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joanne? No, sir, it would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. I see. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then? Such as? Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated. Well... Yes, was there something? Well, nothing particularly significant, but around that sort of... For the love of God, Joanne, what were you doing? Oh, dear me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. You really should fire her. What is this? Do be more careful, woman. Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Naruhodo. Naruhodo? Yes, me? I haven't exceedingly good memory, and as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour, nothing at all. Mr. Garrideb wanted to tell us something, and you seem to be distracted by our questioning. Really, Mr. Garrideb? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really, nothing of... She's intentionally cutting him off. Joanne, that's it all. What is the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened. Ooh. Oh, yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quiet and eventful meal. Joanne? That's right, Mr. Garrideb. What is the matter with these two? It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident, but what? I wish I knew. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on? Why, certainly, just below us on the first floor. And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there even as we speak? Yes, told me that's his name. Had asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key. Mr. Natsume has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services? That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around? In Mr. Natsume's room, I mean. I don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs. Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with the case. We have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we? Yes, and while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more. Oh, she is so excited about Sholmes, and I don't like it one bit. Wow, this looks like a dungeon. What is happening? And what's with the windows? What? Just look at this place. Wait, Natsume has a cat? Is that a cat? Not the lucky cat statue on the left, I mean the real one in the middle of the room. I suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life. No, me neither. It's so dark in here too. Is that the window over there? Well, it was the window, I think, yes, once upon a time. But for some reason it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you? No, that's true, but according to what Mr. Garrett had told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Somewhere around here, but he's not here. Oh, inside the books, maybe? That is a lot of books. I thought he was a, what is Mr. Natsume doing here? Like studying the culture of Great Britain or something? A Britain nerd, so to say? Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reached its ceiling. They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty. No, he's a professor for English literature, right. With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you? No, what a dreamy idea. A bad dream, maybe, for me at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again. So reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as the tea ceremony teaches us. I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. Okay, that's all. Oh look, it's a beckoning cat from home! It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that maneki-neko all the way from Japan with him. I hardly think you are in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Daruma doll that you brought in your luggage? I did? Hold on, let me look up what a Daruma doll is. Oh, it's... okay. Interesting. Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad. I wanted a luggage arm. Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and this cat is sure to beckon good luck to him. It's not doing a very good job so far, is it? Yeah, it's not... Usually, its paw should be like... beckoning, like, it should swing like a pendulum. You mustn't say such things. I didn't say a word. Wait, did she read my thoughts again? Yeah, she did. Why are my eyes such a giveaway? She's reading my mind. Oh. What is that? This appears to be some sort of meter on the wall here. It looks very robust. I wonder what it's for. There's a slot for inserting coins here too. I believe that is a gas meter, Mr. Naruhodo. A gas meter? Yes, it seems there's piped gas in this district, which consumers pay for by putting coins in the meter. So if we were to put a coin in the slot, that would be enough gas to use the lights in the gas fire for the whole night. So if you're too poor to have a coin, you'd have to spend the night in the dark and freezing cold. That's right, as for the rich man who only carries crisp white notes. London is a scary place. There is no music in this area, that's crazy. And why do we have like 2 panels when there's nothing here on the second panel? Could you even call this a window? I think so, it was a window at one time, after all. Although all that remains is a frame around some bricks now. So really it's just a wall then, isn't it? But why would anyone deliberately brick it up like that? I'm afraid I have no idea. Perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design on in a fit of whimsy. What? That's alarmingly feasible. Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes the place very oppressive. It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying. As well as the fact that there's no music around here. Oh. Lots of crumpled up notes. Maybe he was writing his own story? Look at all these balls of paper on the floor. There are notes scrawled all over them in English. It looks like the waste paper basket is so full they've just fallen out. I think Mr. Natsume must have been deeply immersed in his research, don't you? Or deeply averse to tidying up his mess. I wouldn't like to speculate which is closer to the truth. And he has a cat, which no one is caring for it. That is sad. Oh, so cute. Oh. And it's gone. Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away. I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolor Mikke, wasn't it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan. That's made me feel homesick now. Already, we've only been in the country for 2 days. Yeah, but we were on the ship for like a month. Speaking of ship, he must have come with a different ship because on the SS Buria no pets are allowed, right? That desk seems to be wedged into a crevice between the mountains of books on either side. I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit here and read while stroking his cat. But surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes, surely he dreamt of books every night as well. Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop, Your Books. Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name is on it. Look, and the date of purchase. 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident. That's just a short while before he was embroiled in a terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. Interesting. Let's look at it. Customer Mr. Natsume, the sum of 2 shillings tendered in receipt of the picture of Monsieur Lecoq, a meal for Gaboriau, Canterbury Yearnings. Okay, I think we've seen everything here, but where's Mr. Sholmes? Oh! Okay, that explains the second panel. Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Aha, there he is. Where did he appear from? He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope you won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, you too. Good day. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met? Wait, did you forget about us already? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together on the SS Buria. Yes, of course, the Buria. And let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma Asuki. He died tragically, but you were a great help to us. Ah, yes, but of course, the case of Mr. Asuki. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it? Oh. Well, you seem to remember something of it, at least. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr. Oh no, my dear madam, hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in your brain attic. Miss Naruhodo. And Mr. Susato. Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. I lose the first round. Is he doing this on purpose or what? I can't tell. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London, but some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at a railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So they apprehended Soseki-san in that short an amount of time? I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes, those are my own words of inimitable wisdom, from an adventure titled A Study in Scarlet. So you deem us not important? Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately my associate pens them beautifully. He means Iris, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned. Oh goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madam, I should be only too pleased, and this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Wonderful. We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Soseki Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume? Yes, I believe it was a name rather along those lines. But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little? I'm sorry, Mr. Sato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean. Again, he's denying that he pointed his finger on Natsume. What? I can't believe he was looking Sato-san squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance. I assure you, I'm not merely feigning ignorance. You read my mind too. It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh, how? I assure you I have no recollection of accusing your stooped compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make any sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene. A man seen fleeing. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the bookplates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there's a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question. So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit then? That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliophilia. Bibliophily? What is this word? Do not be deceived into believing that I am a man of leisure. No, no, no. Oh dear. Tell me, have you encountered the landlord of those lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garrideb, a retired military man. It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the Great British Institution that is the services. And it was the first time I've ever met a maid from the Great British Institution that is service. I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid. Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer. And so conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein. Betoken their social standing, sorry? Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class, those who do not are beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary! As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundaries between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of first importance. I had no idea. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Oh? Specifically in a retired army veteran, Mr. John Garrideb. How so? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain. I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say. No, I'm not. Come on, Ryunosuke, you know what he means. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. How can you say that? Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one. But sooner or later, as I said. I don't believe that's the issue here. About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Oh. What is that? Surely not a tax on windows? Precisely that. Oh my goodness! Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home perhaps, rapidly closed windows up, while the rich opened windows here, there and everywhere. Wow, this is very inhumane. In an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. How awful and unjust! Forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light? Indeed, disease was rife as a result. So some 40 years ago, or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps? It would appear so. I've done a little digging and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price. Because the room is so awful, I should think. Apparently, Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago. Oh, that was me. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Still, that is of little relevance here, no matter what... Oh, a matter not worthy of further attention. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Well, I believe I told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remembered that. Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. What? Why? Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well then, I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized, and so promptly too. The thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence? Yes, trust. Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Oh, but aren't you a great detective? Didn't you come back to investigate? Ah, yes, that was indeed my initial intention, but there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room. Okay, yes, we know that. And there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us! I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of relevance to this case, but I am quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. Yeah, we already knew that too. Mr. Gary Debis? Mr. Sholmes said as much before, actually, didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case. Mr. Naruhodo, as yet our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence. No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Gary Depp's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, thank you. And he's gone. A busy man indeed. And he's gone back to his book, okay.